Good afternoon. This is a intro course to Articulate 360, and what we're going to focus on today is for beginners how to set up your first course. And we won't go into a lot of the logistics of triggers and things of that nature. We just want to get you started with Articulate. If you've never used Articulate before, this will be very, very general um, information for you to use. Now, as you can see here on our ribbon up here, we have the same display from Storyline 2. Um, Also, you'll notice we have things like little icon up here has changed. This is a new scene. So all of these areas here are called scenes. So this is my beginning scene. And if I want to insert a new scene, then there was another scene there. This flag indicates that this is the beginning of my scene or the beginning of my story. And when you think of storyline, think of a story, like you're writing a book. You have pictures, you have content, you have videos if you want to add video. This is basically what storyline really is. I'm going to delete that because we only need one story for right now. Over here are attributes that pertain to the slide, which doesn't have anything in it right now. These are triggers, which will be for another video. This is telling me that the person can go to the next slide um, if there was one, or the previous slide if there was one. Well, obviously there's no previous slide, so we're going to get rid of those two options. And these are slide navigations and gestures. And the storyline, I'm sorry, 360, you have the option of using a swipe feature. So if you are on your tablet or on your phone, you can actually swipe to get to your next scene. These are the views. So you can have a desktop view, you have your, if you want to look at it from a tablet from a landscape perspective, you can preview your slide that way, which we don't have anything yet. So I'm going to hit cancel. Hopefully, let's see, it's processing. All right, well, this would be my slide from a landscape perspective if I had information on here. This would be if it was from a tablet in a vertical view, or a phone, I'm sorry, phone, not tablet, from a landscape view. And then here's your phone view here. So with 360, we have the various previews that we can see our courses in. It'll explain here what it is. This is the phone portrait, phone landscape, tablet portrait, tablet landscape, and then your desktop version. So right now we're going to stay in desktop. Um, Up here, you got your insert, so you can insert information. You can insert content, slide information, quizzes, etc., etc. So let's just go through and just do something with a basic slide. And I'm gonna go to my player menu. And one of the things I like to do on the player menu is set up the way I want the player menu to look. So we're not gonna have any captions, but I do want to title this new presentation. How about that? And that'll be there. So we'll see the name of our slide up here. I don't have any resources, so I'm going to uncheck that. Over here is where you can check off information that you can have appear within your slide, your player menu, which is this is the player menu. And if I choose not to have my player menu shown, I can actually deselect this. And so the users will not have a player menu. And the only way they will get through the slides is via the previous or next button. Right now, though, we want to keep our player menu. If we had a logo, I could click here to include a logo. So if you're working on a company presentation and you have a PNG file or a GIF file of the logo, you can actually click here and you can go to your wherever it's saved and include your logo in the presentation. This is the volume button. If you have, let's say you're importing slides, which we'll talk about another video about importing of new slides. If you have slides that you want that have sound to it, or you're including sound effects in your presentation, then you would need to have your volume button here so that can be, so the users would be able to manipulate the volume, from low to very high. So I don't have any right now, so I'm just going to deselect this under my control menu. Right here on the sidebar, I have my menu typically on the left, but you can also put your menu on the right if that's how if you're going to show your menu. I'm going to keep it on the left. Colors and effects, we're going to keep it really basic right now. What I do here is I do like to keep my player menu under the font of Arial. So I like for the whole, if I'm showing a player menu, I like the font to be in Arial. And if I had captions, I would have that in Arial as well. The color scheme, you can make whatever color scheme you want. I could make it blue if I wanted. I can use a default. I can make this olive green. I can make it medium blue, et cetera, et cetera. I'm not going to do all that blue. But for right now, we'll keep it the background color. Right now, we'll just keep it, we'll make it blue for right now. As far as text labels and things of that nature, if you're doing you're doing like alt text, or you want to customize your text, you can come in here. And if you want to have rename your buttons and messages to something different, you can go over here and rename that. I'm not going to do that right now. Oops, let me get back in the player menu. Sorry about that. Um, Resources, as you see, there's nothing here. I should just deselected that. You can add a resource. Let's say if you want to add a new resource, you can call it whatever it is. If it's a web file, you would put the web address here. If it's a file that's on your computer, or it's a file that you want to upload from your computer, or from another resource area, such as maybe Google Docs, what have you, you can attach it here, and then you would have it shown in your player menu so that the user can go in and see that there are also additional resources that they can use for the course. We don't have any right now, so I'm going to deselect that. So right now we're just going to have a menu. I forgot new presentation. Must have canceled that. Take off my captions and text and labels, colors and effects. This right here, Arial, and okay. So that's that. So that's our player menu for just very quickly can look through that. The publishing side of publishing button, I should say over here. If we were getting ready to publish that, meaning that we want our viewers to be able to actually see this presentation, we would hit publish. Now with Articulate 360, we have a few different options here for publishing and things of that nature, which is really great. We have Articulate 360. It can go to, if you have subject matter experts and they want to review your lesson or your course before you publish, place it on your learning management system, you can actually go to your review feature, and we will talk about review a little later. It is a great feature for you to use if you are going to, have other people who are part of developing the content. Take a look at everything, making sure that the content is what they want, making sure that it's functioning the way it should function. The format of it, you can have it, you can publish as just an HTML5 file, or HTML5 with a Flash fallback, which is very common. Even though Flash is not being used as much anymore, it's still being used. So depends on what the users are going to be using. If they have Flash as their dominant or that's their prominent type of feature that's being viewed for their LMS, then you would switch to that. Or if you want to be completely Flash file, then you can select that. So let's go in here and let's actually create our first lesson. So we have our timeline, we have our states, and we have our notes section. And let's create a title for this first page. We can actually go through here and figure out some layouts. So there's all types of layouts you can use. So we're going to do, how about we got a blank layout here. What if you wanted to import layouts from someplace else, or you can actually import layouts from PowerPoint? We're just going to create our own layout right now. We're going to put a text box in here, and we're just going to say this is Presentation 101. How about that? Okay. And Presentation 101, I want it to be Arial, and I want it to be maybe 24 point. and I want to put that in the center. All right, so there's our first thing we did was we created a text box. So we went to insert and we went to text box here, and we created our first title page, if you will, of our presentation. Now let's say we want to insert a character. We go to characters, and with 360, you have a lot of characters to choose from. There are many, many, many. You can download some I've downloaded a few already, or you can already go some that's pre-selected. You have genders, the type of clothing, the industry, the style, the age range. It's really, really it's up to you to decide what you want in terms of the expression. You can, let's say we want to use female modern, okay? And here's Lily, let's say an expression for Lily, and we can say Lily could be, I don't know, neutral. Let's insert that. Okay, so there's a neutral look if you want to use, let's say, an illustrated character. And we got Lily here, and let's get her to start talking about what we're going to do in this presentation. So let's do an insert, and let's go over here to a caption, and you have your choices of the types of captions that you would like to use. So we're going to use the circle one. You can just do this and kind of put your mouse here to bring this around so it looks like Lily is talking. And let's insert some text here. Hello and welcome to the presentation. Okay, and we can move this over some, make it a little bit closer. And that's really our first title page. That's our first page of our presentation. We have Lily. We went to the insert characters key over here, and we selected one name called Lily. Obviously, there's others you could have selected. You can go to male, deselect female, photogenic. You can select someone not a cartoon character, probably someone in the corporate environment. Let's say we were to insert Alberto. We can put him here if we wanted to, and he could actually say something if you want him to say something, or we don't have to have him at all. So let's get rid of Alberto. So that's our first thing we're doing here. So that's Lily. Okay, so let's go back over what we did so far. So far, we went through our player menu, and within our player menu, we have some options here. All the options here are dependent upon what we would like to showcase within the presentation. So we don't have any resources, so I deselected the resources bar. We do have a menu, and I'm going to keep the menu here. We don't have a glossary, but we can talk about that later, and a notes page. So right now, the only thing we're going to show, and on the left-hand side, it's going to be whatever number of slides they're going to showcase over here in the player menu. No captions at this point, no closed captions. We're not going to do a search feature. If we want to add a logo, we can upload a PNG or GIF file if we have a logo for our presentation. What else here? We are going to, the player font is going to be Arial. If we had closed captions, I would have that also in Arial as well. I did do a color scheme in the background. I think I did like a blue or something like that. I think I did that. Okay. That's it. Let's do that. And that is really it. Oh, let's name our slide. Intro section. Okay. And that's really it. That's just a very brief overview of Storyline 360, creating really a first slide presentation. And then next we'll go into in a different video, we will go into more detail about creating like a complete module, you know, with a little bit more effects, creating text boxes, animations, and the use of triggers. Thank you so very much.